Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Please excuse how I look today. I have just got out of the shower and I washed my hair and it is just far too hot in the UK at the minute to use a hairdryer. If you saw my last video, then you know that I was lucky enough to get a VIP ticket to see Taylor Swift in Wembley. And like I did previously, I thought that I would just do a video on my experience as a VIP at a Taylor Swift concert, but also my experience as somebody who was standing at a Taylor Swift concert. So I thought I would just share my experience and also tell you what the VIP package actually comes with, and also just share some tips and advice that I've got if you are standing for a long period of time for a concert. So the VIP package that I got was called the Ready For It package. This package included a VIP box of merch and also early entry to the concert through a specific entry point. If you know the staging for the Eras tour, it's like a long stage with a diamond in the middle and then staging at the end where she does the surprise songs. My entry point was actually at the end, so it wasn't at the diamond where she spends the majority of her time, it was at the end where the surprise songs are. So this early entry started at 4 p.m. and I think general admission was at 4:30, so you only get in half an hour earlier. This was for Wembley at least, it may be different for different venues. So just in case you've not seen what the VIP boxes contain, this is what the VIP box looks like. It's got all the Eras tour pictures on there. When you open it up, there is a white folder that has Taylor Swift The Eras Tour on the back, and in this is basically just a lot of posters. I do really like these posters, they are quite nice. I think there's 4 in here. Yeah, there's 4 different posters in this. Do I know where I'm going to display all these posters? No, I do not. Also on the back of the lid you have this, which I just think is really nice as well. Also in the VIP package you get a small tote bag. So on one side it says Taylor Swift The Eras Tour VIP, and on the other side you've got the Eras Tour logo. And this is the original Eras Tour logo without the Tortured Poets Department bit in it. I was going to buy the tote bag anyway, so I was really happy when this was in the VIP set. Although it's slightly different to the tote bag in the normal stand, I really like this and I didn't find the need to buy another one. The next thing in the VIP package is this box, which when you open it, if she can open it, contains this fake ticket. So this isn't your actual ticket, it's just like a cute little souvenir thing, and it says VIP on the back there. So this is also a really nice thing to display. You also get this little slip here which just says Taylor Swift The Eras Tour, and a bunch of postcards, one for each era. And you've got that on the back if you do want to send them, but I don't know why you'd send them. I want to keep these all for myself. I don't actually know when I'd ever use this. I feel like I'm just going to come up with a way to display most of it to remember my time at the concert, especially this fake ticket. I just think that's really cute. I also might use this actual box to keep my Taylor Swift jewellery so I can have it separate from my other jewellery, because I do actually have quite a bit of Taylor Swift jewellery. And then the last thing you get in the VIP box is this box, and what this contains is probably my favourite thing in the whole package, which is the lanyard. It also comes with this pin, which I've actually put on my lanyard, that says Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. Again, it's the older logo without the Tortured Poets Department. And you've got this part of the lanyard which moves, like changes when you move it, and it's different on the back as well. And then the actual lanyard just says Taylor Swift The Eras Tour VIP. So I did really enjoy wearing this at the concert. So that was the entire VIP box of merch that you get. Bearing in mind the ticket price for this package was £300, I am a little bit disappointed in it. Knowing what Taylor did for the Rep VIP box, I think there could have been a lot more to it. I am happy with the merch, but I just think for that price point, it's not really good enough. However, as I said previously, I did get early entry and I did really appreciate that. We got a pretty good view just from the early entry. We actually entered the queue at 3:15, so 45 minutes before the early entry time. And of course there were some people in the queue way before us that had been waiting for hours, but we just personally thought that it would ruin our experience if we were queuing for so long, bearing in mind we already had to be in the arena standing in a big crowd for a long time. Taylor Swift is on for 3 hours, and you also have Paramore, and we had Griff as a support act before that as well. So you are in that arena for a very long time, and we just didn't want to spend so much time queuing outside as well. We thought that it would just be safer for us to make sure that we use that time to have some food, get some drinks, stay hydrated, because it was very hot. And I just think that we appreciated that a lot more than if we were just waiting in the sun in that queue. And we still got a really good spot. So what I did during my day was very different to my day when I was seated. If you saw my previous video of when I was seated for the Eras tour, you'll know that I actually didn't get to the arena until maybe maybe about 5 o'clock. And this worked for when I was seated, but I actually was ready at 10 o'clock in the morning in my outfit and everything. We actually had to travel from Reading into London, so that's part of the reason why we were ready so early. And also, we didn't do any sort of trail like there was in Liverpool with the Taylor Trail. We didn't do anything like that in London. So what we did was we travelled into London, we went straight to Wembley, we actually went to a place, I can't remember what it's called, but it's along the strip as you go up to Wembley Arena, and they basically had Swiftageddon on. If you don't know what Swiftageddon is, it's basically different nightclubs that just play Taylor Swift songs. I've been before and really enjoyed it. And in this building, it was basically lots of food places and also bars for you to get your drinks. And they were just playing Taylor Swift songs, and it was just amazing. Everyone there was just getting into the spirit, trading bracelets, and it was a really nice way to spend the hours before the show. So we made sure whilst we were there to eat some food and get some drinks just to make sure that we were prepped and ready for the concert. And then, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we joined the queue at 3:15, started moving and going in at 4 o'clock. And yeah, got a really good space right in front of the part of the stage where the surprise songs are held. So like I did in my last Eras tour video, I thought I would just go through some tips that I have if you're going to the Eras tour, if you're standing for a long concert, or if you've got VIP. Some of them are very similar to my last points, and one of them is stay hydrated. I found this especially important whilst I was standing. Luckily, the crowd at Wembley was super nice. We were all really looking out for each other, and if any of the crowd needed water, we made sure to kind of flag the staff members down to ensure that we could get water past to that person that needed it. I did feel a little bit faint just before rep really, so I did kind of alert the people that I was with, and we actually had a very tall man near us, and he was kind of ensuring that everybody in the crowd who needed water got it, because he was able to flag down the staff member, and I just thought that was really lovely. Those staff members are there to provide you with the water when you need it, so I would definitely flag them down when you need to, and don't feel bad about it, because you need to make sure that you're healthy and that you are enjoying the concert. As much as we found drinking water very important, something that I also think that was really important was getting some sugar. There was another point in the concert, it was during the Folklore Evermore sequence, where me and one of my friends were feeling just quite out of it, and we were crashing quite a bit. Both me and her had already seen Taylor before, so we said to the rest of the people in our party that we would go and get some fizzy drinks just to get some sugar in us and make sure that we could kind of get through the rest of the concert. I was nervous about doing this originally because we were in a huge crowd of people and I didn't want to lose anyone in my party. And I don't really do the best with crowds as it is, but it was actually a lot easier than I thought to escape the crowd. And there were also staff members actually on the pitch just selling sugary drinks as well, so we didn't actually even have to leave in order to get these drinks. They were extremely expensive. It was £15 for 3 drinks. And we decided to only get 3 drinks between 4 people just because of how expensive it was. But these 3 drinks were enough to share between the 4 of us and just give us that second wind to get us through the rest of the concert, because we'd already been standing through Griff, through Paramore, and through half of Taylor's set. So it really just helped us have the energy to get through the rest of her set. I definitely think sugar is so important when you are standing for that long. In hindsight, I probably should have eaten more than I did before I went to the concert. I only had one meal beforehand, and although I felt like I couldn't eat any more at the time, I did feel quite dizzy and a bit out of it. The sugary drinks definitely helped, but by the time that we left and actually got back home, we all really needed some food because we were just out of it. I mentioned in my last Eras Tour video about wearing comfy shoes, and this is even more important if you're standing. I just wore my Adidas and even my feet were absolutely killing me. As I've mentioned, I do have a chronic pain condition, so I don't think that the typical person's experience would be as bad as mine, but I was literally limping out of that stadium when the concert finished, and I was in so much pain, even though I was in just normal comfy shoes. And then there were other people in cowboy boots and heels that were in so much pain as well, and I just can't imagine the amount of pain I would have been in if I was wearing them. People were actually walking in bare feet because they couldn't have their shoes on any longer, which is what I did when I wore heels to the seated concert. So definitely wear comfy shoes, especially if you're standing. It is just not worth it. Somebody in my party actually wore cowboy boots for the pictures and everything, but took some Converse with them that they could put in their bag and swapped them out for when they were actually watching the show. And I definitely think that helped her quite a lot. So if you've got some shoes that are able to fit in your tiny bag, then I would recommend that as well if you are so desperate to wear your cowboy boots. Another point that I made in the previous video was planning your route home in advance. Getting out of Wembley was an absolute nightmare. Obviously we were standing this time, and because we were close to the stage, we were some of the last people out of the stadium. We also stayed behind a little bit to pick up confetti and also take some pictures in front of the stage when there were less people around. But this meant that we had thousands of people ahead of us, all walking in the same direction to the tube station, and it was just manic. You have no signal when there's that many people around you trying to figure out where they're going, so you really need to make sure that you've got that plan beforehand. I don't actually think that we got back to the house until maybe around 1:20 in the morning, and then we still had to eat because we were all just feeling so groggy after. So yeah, it took a long time for us to be able to go to bed. We were quite lucky because the merch lines actually weren't too bad. As you can see, I bought this hoodie. I was going to originally buy it online on the Taylor Swift store, but you couldn't get this exact hoodie because it's actually got things on the arms, like Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour on the arms, and the dates of the shows on the back. And this is also the updated hoodie that has the Tortured Poets department as well. The merch queues were actually super short, which was great. The only problem we did have was somebody in our party needed a size small in the thing that they were looking for. We went to so many different merch lines because they were literally dotted everywhere. We went to so many different merch lines and none of them had what she wanted in a size small. So we were then advised to actually go to the mega store, which was by the car park. This mega store, it was mega, it was absolutely huge, but the queue went so quickly, and I've seen videos of people who were waiting in that queue for ages, days before the concerts, and we were on Wembley night 2, so you'd think that it would be busy, but it really wasn't. We were in and out within probably about 10 minutes. That queue line was just such a vibe as well because they were playing Taylor Swift songs and people were giving friendship bracelets to the security guards there, and it was just really lovely. And they had so much stock, so my friend was easily able to get what she wanted in a size small. I don't know if that is still going to be there in August when she goes back to Wembley in August, but I'm sure it will be, and I would definitely recommend going there if you are wanting sizes in the merch that are quite popular. You'll probably save yourself some time going straight there rather than going to the other merch lines that are a lot smaller and have smaller stock. We were quite lucky as well because when we actually got into the arena and picked our spot, we were able to sit down for quite a while until Griff came on. The only thing I would say is if you are sitting down, be ready for when the first support act comes on, because as soon as they come on, people just rush to the front and you will get pushed, unfortunately. So it was a huge rush to stand up from where we were sat and just move forward with everyone else. We weren't pushing or anything, but we did have some people push past us, which was quite rude, but unfortunately it's just what happens. This also happened at the surprise songs because she was right at the end of the stage where we were close to, and people just started pushing to try and get closer to her, which was a shame. However, we still had the best view, and I'm so grateful for that. So overall, I think there are lots of pros and cons to both seated and standing. I really enjoyed both my experiences, but for very different reasons. I was definitely a lot more comfortable when I was seated, but I was also stood up a lot even whilst I was seated anyway. And as amazing as it was to have the really good views of Taylor and being so close to her while standing, I was in a lot of pain, especially going home. I think it's just about evaluating what's important to you, and if you're genuinely going to enjoy the experience being stood for that long, or whether you would sacrifice being as close to her to be more comfortable. I think for me, in an ideal world, I would prefer to have a seated area, maybe in the lower bowl, a bit closer to the stage than where I was for the first time I saw her, but also not stood up, so I'm not having to stand all the time through all the support acts as well, and it's a lot easier to leave to go to the toilet or to get a drink. I did not go to the toilet the entire time from when I was queuing at 3:15 until I got back to the house at about 1:20. So it was a very long time, and it wasn't actually too bad for me personally, but I understand why it would be quite challenging for other people, especially if you are staying hydrated. But I think the adrenaline just kind of took over for me, which was good. The one thing I would say about seated versus standing as well, my seated tickets were just over £100 each, and this cost £300. So there was a massive difference in price, literally over double. And I don't know if I'd say that I enjoyed both equally, but there's not that much difference between them. I've seen a lot of things on TikTok of people using the VIP box to display their friendship bracelets and other things that they've got, like pictures from the Eras tour, and I definitely think I'm going to do something like that to kind of commemorate my experience. But yeah, that was my Eras tour experience as VIP standing. Let me know if you are going to any Eras tour dates. It's a shame that it's ending soon, but she has been doing it for a while, and it's just such an experience. It's absolutely amazing. I'm so grateful that I've been able to see it twice, and been lucky enough to have the merch that I've got as well. I just feel so privileged. The post Eras tour depression is definitely settling in now, but yeah, it was just amazing, and I've got so many great memories from it. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.